All right, so I love using this thing to, I don't know what it is, but I like, all right, so all we're doing is just loosen it before we jack it up, just in case. All right, okay. That's good enough. So there's the jack point right there that we can use. Jacked up. This is a jack I got from Harbor Freight probably about 15 years ago. And I have this thing, I leave it in my car. So if I ever have an issue, I can go ahead and just change my tire. I can do that within 5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and loosen this thing up. I'll just throw this on here to make it go quicker. And then the great thing about the tire is you just turn it around and it becomes your seat so you can do all your work. All right, so let's get down and see what we got going on here. All right, so before we get started, let me show you the tools I use, because one of the best things about working on your own cars is having the tools. I like to buy the tools. So the thing is, I can pay somebody to do this work and it costs more, and I have no tools, or I can do it myself and buy new tools, which I love doing. So we're gonna go into it. And you know, I always put links in to show you what tools I got, where I got them. And I like to get, I don't like to spend a lot of money on it, so I like to get the cheapest, you know, the best price you can find. So, all right, let's get back to the work. Too much chatting and not enough work. So you'll see right here, these are what you have to unscrew the caliper pins, okay? But there's like little plastic covers on it, these little dust covers. So just go ahead. You see, it's just the way you want, just set to the side. And now these ones, this is what my pry bar is used, or you know, my little pry piece is used for. So this thing is, that's a 7mm Allen. So, you know, like I said, I love tools. So let's grab our 7. Now, this is a good set to have just in case you need it. And it has, so you can adjust it to whatever size socket you have. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I think it's 7. Yeah, look at that. That's 7. All right. So we just got to go ahead and, you know, of course, I love my power ratchets. Let's see if this gets in there. So, okay. So, full disclosure here, the van has almost 94,000 miles. I've never replaced the brake pads on it, and this is a different setup than what you normally see. So you see, I've got this metal clip here, and it's holding on to the caliper. So usually you just pry the caliper off the bracket, but with that being there, we have to get this off first. So we see that it's attached. Okay, that's a pressure on the bottom. So really it's attached in these pins here. So, oh, look at that. Okay. I love these picks, and these picks can get in here and do things that other tools can't. These are great for hoses too, though, but Okay, so as you see on, this is a new one that we'll be installing. It has this little go around. So this little, it hooks around. So basically we have to push it back to get it back out. Let's see, does that get in there? See? And now you can see how it's sticking out here. So we just get, and then that comes off. So it's actually rather simple. You just push it in and it comes right out. Let's see. This thing's kind of rusty, but that's what we got to do. Now let's just pop this thing off. Okay, so we just got to pry it off. I like this little pry bar. Is this overkill? Yeah, you could just use a screwdriver, but you just want to get it off the caliper, and you need to protect it because it's just hanging. So you got the electric brake holding it, and this is your electric line. This is of course your brake line. So just set it on top so it's out of the way, but it doesn't fall. You can use a coat hanger to hook it up, but there's nothing really to hook it on right here. So let's go ahead and take these pads off. So see the rear one isn't so bad, but this one, oh Nelly, yeah, this is, look at that. That's right about the point where it's going to start making noise. So this is a good call. All right, so what you want to do is you always want to clean up your guide rails here, and you're gonna have to grease these pins. And we need to retract the caliper. Now this is a little different than most calipers because you have a plastic piece on the back. Usually I would use a C-clamp and just squeeze it tight, but there's a good chance you could break this plastic piece. And I don't have one of the disc. I said I love tools, and I didn't buy that tool. I should have bought that one. I don't know what I was thinking. But I have another way that we can compress this in. So let's clean everything up and finish this up. It's not a hard job. Anybody can really do this. So, and that's the thing. With these videos, I want you to know that you can do this. Don't be afraid to do it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm somebody who grew up in a household where you would go to the mechanic to get your oil changed. I was afraid to do anything with it, and now I'll do anything. I probably should have went and got, actual training for it, but I just learned here and there. And then with the advent of YouTube, I learned stuff on there. So, the knowledge base that I have now is so much better than it was, and I'm very comfortable doing all these projects. It's just some brake part cleaner just to kind of clean it up. So, I'm comfortable so much doing this that my son, he came by the other day just to drop off our grandson, because they wanted to go spend quality time together for the evening, and we're never going to turn down a chance to spend time with our grandson. So, but he said there was a lot of brake dust on his wheels, and that sort of didn't make any sense. So went ahead, and he had it in the street. Okay, we just did it right there, like as he pulled up, and we popped off the wheel, and his brake pad was so low, it was like scraping, and it was basically, long story short, the guide rails were bone dry, and so the pad was sticking, and it was heating up his rotor, which was then heating up the wheel. And we went ahead and changed the brake pads right there. We just ran over to Advance and picked everything up and changed it. It doesn't take long at all. Like, anybody could do brake pads. It's not a hard thing to do. So, and that's what I'm trying to show you here. You always want to pop the cap off of the master cylinder. I'm sorry, the brake fluid. You always want to pop the cap up. Come on, let's go around this. You always want to pop this off before you depress the piston, just in case. I'm gonna put this little raglet just in case, because sometimes when you push it in, it'll squirt up really high, and you don't want that breakthrough especially. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, so usually I'll take the old brake pad and just use the C-clamp and push it, you know, and push it in. But it has a plastic cap on the back, so I can do it. You know, I've seen there was a way where you could pry it to try to get it to work, but that wasn't working very well. So you can hook it to the metal part right here and use that to compress it. And you're not damaging anything. It's not putting any pressure, anything. And it's compressing the way you need it to. So as you can see, we've completely compressed the piston. So we're in the position now where we can actually put pads on and grease it up.